I've been doing this about 16 years, and I can safely say I've never seen anything quite like this. Say hello to the new generation of balcony camper. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd. Welcome to Bish's RV. Actually, welcome to Keystone RV. They were kind enough to pull some of these in and set these up, and I'm excited. I saw the original prototype of this, and I'm so glad I had a chance to come back and get the final finished product. This is a new concept I'm calling balcony camping, because it's not like you've seen in some RVs where it's literally just a toy hauler patio ramp that you fold down. It's a dedicated kind of system. I guess if we're going to oversimplify it, it's kind of like taking a toy hauler ramp patio door and cutting it in half and putting a hinge on it. But what I love about this concept is that you don't have to have it open for the RV to still be really cool and really functional. You can leave this thing closed all the time, because when it's closed, it just provides a giant picture window across the back that has not only night shades to pull shut to give you privacy, but also a radiant barrier sun blocker on the back side. So if you want the big wide open views and visibility, it's super simple and easy to put it down. I'm gonna demonstrate that for you later. Literally one hand and two fingers is all it takes to raise and lower this thing. It's very, very simple and easy. The other thing here is if you want to keep it totally enclosed and privatized and just weather protected and whatnot, you can totally do that. This is a great floor plan with a front bedroom slide and washer dryer prep and heated enclosed belly, torsion axle and suspension package, factory standard solar package, the ability to have dual air conditioners, no heat vents in the floor, enclosed docking station. This Bullet is a brand that has quietly done the work and gotten, I think, really good, but I think some people had kind of overlooked them, not realizing all the updates they've made, and now they're as far as I know, one of the only travel trailer builders doing this thing, and they're doing it on a couple models. So this is the first one I've had a chance to see. I want to show you what it does, what it doesn't do, where this floor plan rocks, baby, where it sucks. I want to be fair and transparent and candid, and if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. Let's go, because this is a fun one, man. And you know, I'm looking at this, and for the most part, it's very similar to that ultra traditional rear kitchen super slide layout that you've seen out there. But because they had to build a pass-through walkway to get back to the rear patio, which is obviously closed currently, they had to move a lot of like the pantry storage and the refrigerator over there into the slide. So the super slide, instead of having a sofa and a dinette, basically just has this theater seat over here. But this is my nerd preferred theater seat and my nerd preferred way of doing the slide flooring. You have a folding middle armrest, so you can get it out of the way and be cuddle compliant, should you so choose. You also have no heat venting in the floor. Bullet's been doing that for a long, long time. But what they had to do here is figure out, well then, what else? How else do we do the seating? And this kind of corner lounge over here, there's a floating removable table that is included with the RV that can slide out here, and it can do the job for you. But one of the other things that I really like about this kind of corner lounge arrangement is that I'm going to slowly pivot you over here to the right. When you sit down, first of all, it's very social. And that's one of the things that I think has almost been lost in a lot of RVing. We don't have a lot of seats that really face one another. And I think some of that social aspect has been lost. But your traditional rear kitchen travel trailer usually has a problem where the entertainment center kind of sucks. I'm not going to tell you this is the best entertainment center I've ever seen in a rear kitchen. It's not the worst, though, because of the way that this lounge allows you to kind of pivot and twist around. Now, without question, if you're over here at the theater seat, it is absolutely a 90-degree neck wrecker situation. I never try to overpromise and underdeliver on anything. I want you to know what's real about this. But the fact is, you have some kind of decent entertainment opportunity. The other thing is this TV is orientated to service more than just the sofas. Because we have the rear kitchen patio lounge, it's designed so that if you want to sit at the rear bar or stand in the kitchen and not be left out of the entertainment, left out of the action, well, it can service basically the entire living entertainment area. So while most floor plans focus first on giving the TV viewing to the theater seat, this one focuses on providing TV coverage to the whole house. The TV is almost a background element, and this is, again, a far more social focused floor plan where it's more about the people and the conversations you might be having. If that is your idea of camping, this might be for you. And in addition to the rear patio, you can see up in the hallway, in the bedroom, and especially over this kind of little L lounge over here, you actually have some really, really awesome viewing on this RV. That's another thing that I like about this. I think it's more like campsite and park patio friendly than a lot of other RVs typically will be. With a lot of rear kitchens. Now, the thing is, there's a lot more going on here than just a sofa. For instance, if you want another space to be able to kind of kick out your feet, it actually has like cushion top, slide open kind of ottomans built into it. Both of which have storage and both of which are totally free floating. So if you want to completely move them out of the way, you don't like them, you don't have to have them. And actually, if you have a small dog or something, I could see that being a nice little hideaway pet palace where they get to have that enclosed cave effect that actually a lot of dogs and cats really like. It gives them like a sense of security and peace and privacy. Very handy if you're away from the RV for a while. But again, as we saw in our early flyby floor plan in a flash, the RV includes its own floating dining table. So you actually have kitchen bar top dining, potentially inside and outside kitchen bar top dining. But you also, like on a rainy day, still have a place that you can sit down and have a bite to eat. Now, something I appreciate is how they put even some basic struts on here, but those are actually the metallic struts. I thought they were plastic, but they're not. Those are the nicer ones. So that you don't have to hold that open. Now, this is all pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry. And notice how they don't have the traditional boxy valances and lambrequins. They actually just kind of fully framed in the window and made a small but actual window sill here. And before I forget, these all, basically every window that can has blackout safety, blackout roller shades. Sorry. For fire safety is what was in my head. Your kitchen does have a metallic mini blind, but that's required for fire code. Look how the countertop extension actually flips up countertop flush. Wow. It's so frustrating to me how many RV manufacturers don't do that. It's not like it's a whole lot harder, but a lot of brands just don't take the time and effort to knock that out. But look at this. They basically expanded the height of the overhead kitchen cabinets, and by throwing a shelf in there, they were able to really maximize the direct in-kitchen storage. But notice how, whether it was the cabinet over the sofa or both of the cabinets in the kitchen, they actually built lights into the cabinets. Most manufacturers won't do that. And that's one of the reasons that I like to power the RVs up when I go through and I record them so that you can see those little variances. By the way, have you noticed this is solid surface countertop space here in the kitchen? I love that big skirted kind of stainless sink, big old spot for a wastebasket down there under the sink, which is another one of those little nerdy things that I'm always looking for because you're going to use a garbage can every single time you go camping. Another thing they included in here, by the way, before I forget, the RV does actually have a, you can see the rollaway sink cover. I just didn't pull it out of the packaging. I don't want to forget that. They've included, it's a smaller oven, but they still include a propane oven where a lot of manufacturers have discontinued the inclusion of those primarily for cost savings reasons. I don't mind personally if an RV doesn't have a propane stovetop, but I know that that doesn't work for everybody. Some of our southern cousins, you know better than I do. If an RV doesn't have an oven to make some breakfast biscuits, then, you know, no oven, no sale. Now, working our way around here, we're going to get that patio open in just a second. We're going to see plenty of it wide open when we step outside, but I want to finish up the kitchen space here because you have the 10 cubic foot 12-volt compressor fridge built over here again into the slide. Now, in case someone's curious, like, this is the AccuSlide system, and one of the things that you should not do with it is set in the slide while it's retracted. Which causes some people to ask the question, well, what does that mean? Does that mean I have to unload my fridge in my pantry when I close the slide? No, No, you don't. Manufacturers account for storage that they build into the RV. And if you notice, it's anchored into the sidewalls, the floor, and the roof. So it has more support and anchor points. A sofa in the middle of a slide that, when it's closed, is literally levitating above the floor like David Blaine. They don't account for a person that they didn't put there, usually in the towable RV industry. And this is one of those usually examples right here. So hopefully that's extra info that's helpful for you. Most towable RV slide systems you should not sit in while retracted. Now, what I love about this is that when it's closed, you still have that giant window. But look at this. It's crazy how transformative this is in the floor plan. Like, so far, this has just been, I think, personally, a refreshing new take on the classic rear kitchen. But there's a lot of people who are wanting the concept of a patio without a toy hauler. And I'm not saying it's an ideal solution for everybody. Actually, when we step outside, I'm going to tell you some things that maybe some challenge points on this. But the fact is, what they did here is that it includes this 42-inch deep balcony extension, effectively, to open everything up. And suddenly your rear kitchen bar prep space can become like a little outdoor balcony bistro kind of thing, effectively. I know that I'm doing like weird sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait from Police Academy, but I don't know what words to use on this. I've never seen something like this before. But what's really cool is it's just a straight indoor-outdoor experience. Now, obviously, we're inside a facility today with a whole bunch of RVs staged up that I'm going to have to do my best to rip through. But I wanted to give this one its entire day in court over here because this is a very new, very different thing, and I've never encountered something exactly like this before. So, remember how we talked about the orientation of the TV? When you open this thing up, it starts to make a little bit more sense because you can be indoors, you can be outdoors, and still enjoy your entertainment center on this RV. It's a weird, different kind of concept. And I get it. You might be like, it's too weird for me. That's fine. That's fine. But I think it's fun. The thing that I think somebody might ask is, well, how hard is it to set this thing up? So one of the questions I think someone's going to ask is, can I keep the bugs out of this thing? I don't want to just open the back door to the biblical locust plague or something like that. Well, good news, Carol Baskin. Basically, it's got a set of day shades built right onto it, almost like a Euro window, but just the world's biggest Euro window. So you have one from each side that can come in and close in the middle. Now, it might be a little hard to tell on screen, but we actually have the same thing going on down here. But those are blackout night shades again, so that if you don't want the neighbors to be able to see in here, and they have a radiant backer on this side, so if the sun is just screaming, you're in Texas, Arizona, whatever, where you're about 2 feet from the freaking sun, you can help keep the sunshine out of this thing. And not to mention, it's obviously very tinted. That will help tremendously. But, what does it take to close this thing? Like, do you got to be like, Arnold Schwarzenegger here, or can you be more like Danny DeVito? Well, good news, this is pretty easy. You've got one of these bars that keeps it locked in place on either side. You just give it a quick little shove, and notice how it's already starting to recoil. When I do this, you're going to hear a little bit of like a cable sound. Part of it is just these cables wiggling. The other part is this actually has a tension like cable assist kind of system to make this as easy as possible. It's spring loaded, not cable assist. That's a different thing. But you got these handles right here. Don't put your hands here. You will pinch the crap out of your hands and take a Pac-Man chunk out of this sucker. Ask me how I know. Anyway, you just grab this and look at this with one hand. And I got skinny chicken nerd fingers over here. You can close that sucker up, and then it drops right down. So it's not like you don't need a big person to do this. You just give that a quick little thunk to lock it in place, and you're done. That's what I like about this. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy. When it's in the up position, you still have a giant rear window, which is really nice. It just gives you the option on a spring or a fall day to open the camper up and just enjoy it in a way that's never really been possible before without an 8-foot toy hauler garage sticking off the back side of this thing. The other thing that I really like about this, other way, I'm an idiot. Look how easy this is. These are positive cam latches. So come right over here, camera guy. Mr. Mike, who manages Bullet, helping us out today, by the way. So tell Mr. Mike and Keystone thank you. First of all, what I like about these, they are self-clasping, so you have to manually unlatch it. So it already going down the road is more secure. Secondly, it has a key lock. It's not just a padlock system where somebody can bolt cutter this thing and hop inside your RV and have their way with, you know, all your stuff. It has to be done very intentionally and just gives you a little bit more control over something that otherwise could be like a wild feature, you know? They really thought this through. So I would really be curious, now that you've seen it open, now that you've seen it closed, and you've seen how it works, what do you think? You know, is it, did they nail it? Did they fail it? I don't know. I love the idea of it. I don't know if this is something that, like, if I actually used it, I'd be like, dude, this is the coolest thing. Or if once I used it a few times, I'd be like, I don't know. It's actually kind of a hassle, and I don't know that I love it. I don't know, because nothing like this has ever existed before. So I would really love to hear some of your input on it. Now, I appreciate the fact that they included that electric space heat and Tootsie toaster down there. And the converter panel, the fuse box, is actually mounted on the right side of that cabinet. I'll give you a look at that in a second. The reason I think that's important is that means it's right next to the entry door and the command panel. So when you step into the RV, you can always access the fuse box. So you never get, it's not blocked by a slide out is what I'm trying to say. But once again, this is my nerd preferred way of doing a sofa with the folding middle kind of console armrest. Now, this doesn't have heat massage. It doesn't have power points. I love the fact that they included that little bonus drawer down there below the folding armrest in the middle section. Just a nice little touch. And even the actual side armrest have a little bit of, I don't know, phone remote control, contraband storage, as it were. You do have a couple power outlets, like household and USB right over here around this corner. Now, pardon my backpack and my vest and all that kind of stuff. One thing I didn't love is we saw in the kitchen area how they strutted the overhead cabinets. First of all, I don't like that these cabinets flip upward because you really got to basically crawl under them to get to them. The other thing is these are wah, wah, gravity drop. It's just not my favorite execution. The other thing is they didn't put struts on these overhead cabinets either. So they did it in one place but not the other. I don't like that inconsistency. Personally, if we're going to do it, just do it. Now, they had a pocket of space between the entry door and the lounge, and they didn't want to make it too blocky and bulky. So basically, they gave you a place for a couple coat hooks, dog lashes, latches, not lashes. Oh, the ASPCA is going to be up my backside after that one. And I'm a pet lover too. Crap. But you've got a clutter cutter shoe garage there. I love the fact, though, they did actually include the bottom-up pull privacy shade for the entry door. That was a nice touch. Now, our entry lights, or not our entry lights, our main cabin lights, they are on a dimmer switch, but my camera makes the footage go and like freak out, and I don't want to do that effectively. Now, down here, we have that porcelain foot flush stool, which you can see. Good elbow room, good leg room. They did a good job getting around that thing. And I was going to give you some bonus footage opening up this linen cabinet right here, but it appears I left it open, so we don't need to include any magic Steven Spielberg editing or bonus footage. We can
Disappointed!
Just see it. You know, if you had, like, you know, traditional bathroom towels in a trifold arrangement, they'd fit in there pretty darn well. Now, this RV has a 6.5-foot sidewall, which normally means my head is in the skylight like a hat. But if you notice in this footage, mostly I can stand in that shower because it does have that barreled ceiling. So for the most part, I don't have headroom issues in here. And sometimes people like it when I show this real quick. It does have one of those kind of auto squeegee, retractable kind of door things on it. Basic plastic sink, basic faucet. Bullet is, I kind of call it like a middle to upper middle class kind of brand. It's not what you might call a full-on luxury brand. And it's also, it's not the most expensive. It's not the least expensive. They kind of pick their punches, you know what I mean? A little bit. Like, for instance, it is prepped and ready for a second air conditioner. But like you see here, it is something that you can get installed in the RV that does appear to be a direct drop air because your control, here, let me teach you how to fish. You see how the control knobs are built directly onto it? This air conditioner does not have a wall-mounted thermostat that controls it. So you actually reach up there and turn it on, off, and it pumps the cold air only into this living room. So that isn't directly helping the living room. Yeah, what did I say earlier? So that only direct drops air into the bedroom, not the living room. I think I got ahead of myself. Words are hard. Full east-west bed slide over here as well, and that is a little bit larger bed. Is that a king? Some kind of, I'm eyeballing it. I think that's like roughly a 70 by 80 RV king, if I'm not mistaken. What's kind of cool, they gave us like a two-stage storage function here. Because for daily use, I love that they included some drawers, so you don't always have to lift a bed to get to everything. But if you notice where the backstops are, the drawers don't go all the way into that cavity, so you actually still have some big storage space for big, bulky, blocky items that you don't use all the time. Like I don't, some extra blankets or something like that. You still have some space that you could utilize in there. Now, because they gave us a full east-west front closet, we have like fifth wheel level bedroom storage in here. You might notice though, it doesn't go all the way to the floor. I'm actually super cool with that, because if this went all the way to the floor, what freaking good does it do anyway? It's just a big chunk of negative air. It looks impressive, but it's not functional. I look for practicality. They maintained a full front pass-through compartment in a travel trailer with a front bed, slide, and closet, which a lot of brands don't do. And over here, they also included washer dryer prep. Now, the catch-22 is because they went with the full front pass-through, this has the a combo washer dryer prep. It's not a full traditional. Now, if you were willing to remove that bottom panel and remove the shelving, which wouldn't actually probably be too awful hard, you may in theory be able to outfit this thing with a stackable, but by default that's not its exact, you know, what do I want to say, execution, for lack of a better way to say it. Flipping to the other side of the bedroom here, you can see we're prepped and ready for a TV above the bedroom window. The yellow sticker on that plug, real hard to see by the way, it's telling you that that's inverter prep. There's like 6, 7, 8 outlets in this RV that are prepped and ready if you choose to add an inverter. Now, just a quick little look at the dresser drawer storage that we have over here, and the shelving space down below. A lot of times manufacturers will go for all drawers right here, which does feel easier to access, but having shelves means it's a little more load bearing, and you could probably put some bigger, heavier stuff. Like if you want to pack a bunch of blue jeans, I don't know. Did you notice, by the way, that the bathroom linen cabinet didn't go all the way back behind the shower? That's because this actually includes this chunk of extra storage here in the bedroom as well, which again will be easy to access. And I haven't mentioned this, but both sides of the bed do have household outlets. And I think, yeah, if you look under the overhead area here on both sides of the bedroom, you can see that there's inverter prepped household and USB outlets on both sides. So just above those little phone shelf side stands, you have some power outlets. I'm not going to call that CPAP friendly, because you shouldn't have a CPAP machine above your head like that, nor do I think a CPAP machine would really fit right there. But at least it's phone friendly, which I think most of us can benefit from. So first of all, quick note, just like the living room, this bedroom slide, it's nice that the bed doesn't have to like fold or do anything funky, but this type of bed slide system is not recommended to be slept in while retracted, so keep that in mind. From the entry door, getting to the bathroom is absolutely very easy, and something I failed to mention previously is that this TV is on a big aggressive double jointed swing arm right there, so if you want to swing it out and make it face a little bit more toward the theater seat, you can. Now, you're probably not going to do that in road mode travel function, but what I was a little bit curious about here is, can we get back into the kitchen stuff? And I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say that if your life depended on it, you could do it. Like if you had to get to some diabetic medication in that fridge or something, because one of the cool things about 12-volt fridges, they're very traveling friendly. But here's the thing. The AccuSlide system shares some of the same benefits as a rack and pinion slide. It is not upset if you stop opening it part of the way. So if you're at a travel stop and you just need to crack the slide to get back there to make a sandwich or something like that, you need to get yourself a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper because you're in a hurry. Somebody name that reference in the comment section, please. It's not just some stupid stuff I said. I mean, it's stupid, but never mind. You can do that. Now, I don't recommend doing that, like leaving the slide open when it's raining. You only really want this slide fully opened or fully closed because it's not fully sealed while it's in motion or partially deployed. So if that extra info and road mode is helpful for you, hit that little subscribe button and know that we do that for you every time we can. Now, if you watch me regularly, you know that I have my own weird, my nerdisms. I have my weird sayings for everything, mostly to kind of keep myself engaged and entertained over the years of doing this. But this is what I lump into my own self-created category I call portable park models, because it's something that I think is probably best enjoyed for extended stays, but it's also, it has some qualities that make it not terrible for towing around. Now, it's a weird combination of things. It's not going to work for everybody, but I'll explain all this as we go. Real quick note, you might notice effectively double lighting off the nose of this. You have both the lights on the nose cap as well as the your screw trim caps. Those actually are light strips as well. Now, they look really cool. I'm not convinced the front lights like that are really neighbor friendly and really campsite effective. With this having a rear patio though, the lights coming off the back screw trim could be really, really cool. Quick note up front here, of course, power tongue jack, power stabilizers also all the way around, so everything's push button easy. And down here we have the Keystone Giggy box. And I just love doing that. I'm sorry if it's annoying. I just love it. But that's basically a battery disconnect on steroids. Now, up front here, your front pass-through baggage compartment, they're all slam latches, magnet holdbacks. You do lose some of the pass-through compartment because you have a fully enclosed docking center off the other side, but we'll get there in a minute. I mentioned the power stabilizer jacks. Underneath here, this also has an enclosed and forced air heated underbelly with a, I believe, 30,000 BTU furnace, if I'm not mistaken, which is I think what I'm going to call a good extended season package, because they don't actually cold chamber and weather test these. You might notice again up on the roof, we have the ability to slap on a second air conditioner there. And at a glance, when I stand all the way back here, it looks like the awning is a little small, but I don't actually think it is. That is a very large awning. This is just a bigger camper. So back to the how do you use it and what do you tow it with? Because of the length and the size of this thing, not to mention some weight factors, I don't know that I really feel good about pairing up half tons with this. I think a 3/4 ton is going to be a safer pairing for the most part right here. If like you have a seasonal site 25 minutes from your house on low speed roads and you have a very capable half ton, I uncomfortably say maybe then, but that's kind of like a special use case scenario. Once again, really good size awning on this sucker. I'm not unhappy about that. Don't love the outside speakers being mounted on the frickin' roof practically, but okay, fine. So it's long enough, and with no slides on the campsite, it's really, really seasonal campsite friendly. However, Bullets are not the heaviest brand. They've actually gained some weight because they bulked up on some structural items the last couple of years. But down here, they've got Goodyear Endurance radials and a torsion suspension package like Rockwood or Flagstaff or something like, or Airstream. Basically, they're all three of those brands in Bullet. They're running the same nicer tires and suspension package, so that this thing actually can ride and handle a little bit more nicely. So that's that portable aspect of the park-friendly kind of camper that I personally feel this thing is. Now, we've already seen the demo on how this thing goes up and down. It's very simple and easy, but just to give you another quick look when it is closed up. Well, here's a look at it all closed up real quick. Not with me standing in front of it, looking all chubby, ugly, chuggly. Anyway, couple quick notes. Up top here, we are backup camera prepped, and as we wrap around the RV, take a look in the upper back corner. In just a second here, you're actually going to see the ladder prep mount come into view. So this model, because of the rear patio balcony, whatever you want to call it, it actually doesn't have a ladder built onto it, but it does still have a walkable roof. It is still ladder prep. There's still the 220 watt solar package up there. But I like to talk about the good and the bad. One of the concerns I had is, okay, how is the RV secured if the patio door is open? Am I protected from the gas station murder hobos? And basically, no. If it's going to rain, or if you want to lock up the camper at night, you need to close the rear patio. They don't have like a 3 seasons enclosure wall. No supplier builds a 3 seasons enclosure wall for a door opening that size. So it's just literally not something that's available. Whenever a manufacturer introduces a new thing, they also unintentionally introduce a new problem that no one has ever solved for, because no one ever needed to solve for it before. So I like to go out of my way to tell you the good with the bad. If that is handy information, do me a favor, at least click the like button on the video. I'm always trying to look at this like, hey, if this were my money on the line, what would I want to know? That's my goal. Now, this is going to look insane. This RV looks like a 3-headed sewer monster. And I guess in point of technicality, it actually is. But let me explain what's going on here. The rear sewer outlet that we just saw, that is for the kitchen gray tank. This one, kind of in the middle of the screen right here with the orange light beaming on it, that is for your bathroom black and gray. So what is this third hookup? That is a direct dump outlet for the washer dryer hookups. Far as I can tell, it does not have an actual holding tank for the gray water coming from the washer dryer. So if you are going to use the washer dryer, you are pretty much going to want to have on-site sewer, so that, you know, when you're running that sucker, you can basically pull the valve and just flush all the gray water from the washer dryer directly into the on-site sewer hookup. So that's the extra kind of detail, again, that I like to kind of dig into here and dive into a little bit further for you. Now, it looks really funny. Keystone mounts their solar panels higher than most other brands. That's because of airflow reasons. Because if those solar panels get hot, they quit working well, which is the irony, because they're supposed to sit in the sun all day. So they allow those panels to breathe better, to be more effective. Not to mention, it's a 220 watt panel. Not to mention, they're using a Victron MPPT charge controller that we'll get to see in just a second. If you're not, I'm not a solar expert. I know enough to get myself in danger. Basically, there's 2 systems for RV charge controllers. And there's the PWM system, which is less expensive. Then there's the MPPT system that we're looking at here. It's more expensive, but it also is more efficient and essentially catches about 10 to 15% of otherwise wasted juice for the cheaper solar controllers miss, and make sure that they push more of that into your battery storage. So that is cool. An enclosed docking center like this on a travel trailer is not necessarily earth-shattering and new and original, but it is something that a lot of brands don't do. Before I forget, there's your charge controller. It's also inverter prepped in that upper left corner. I think this is wired to handle up to a 2,000 watt inverter. You also have side mount solar prep. So that's what this little plug is down here. So if you want to just park in the shade and chase the sun with this thing, that is absolutely an opportunity that you have available to you. So, I mean, I get the whole camper's weird, but they really let you camp your way. So what do you think? What do you think about this bullet balcony concept right here? Is it for you? Did they nail it? Did they fail it? Leave me a note. Let me know. Either way, I just get excited when something is new and different, because I see the same thing all day, every day. So when I get a chance to catch something new, I get kind of excited about it. I will leave you some links in the video description where you'll be able to double check pricing and availability. Anything that we have in stock will have a price displayed. If we're sold out or restocking, it might only display MSRP. I'm not sure. We do our best to try to provide you some kind of info without ever needing to contact a salesperson. And when you're ready, we're ready. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.